Right.
It came out a few days ago that the coach of the decade has been named Walter Mazzarri, and by a landslide.
Yeah, 50% landslide.
Yeah,
Shoot.
man. And I don't necessarily disagree. I think that if we're gonna give an accolade out to one of the three like long-term main coaches in the 2010s, I think it goes to Mazzarri. But let's talk about this now.
Because there's, you know what, Rafa, 50% chose Walter Mazzarri. Now,
Yeah,
I understand. I like Walter Mazzarri. I had a great time watching Napoli during his era. It was probably my favorite time.
yes.
It was also a time that we started seeing a lot of first times for Napoli and the fans, right? We got the Coppa Italia, so it was the first trophy we lifted in 30 years. We
Against
got the
Juventus.
Champions League.
Against a Juventus, I guess an unbeaten Juventus, mind you.
Right. It was a big deal. It was a big deal for us. We have, nobody can forget the image of Paolo Cannavaro lifting up the Coppa Italia over his head, but that wasn't good enough to get into the Hall of Fame. But nobody, a little...
Oh, the mural?
Yeah, for the train
that's
station.
Another subject.
Yeah. Kenny, I'm going to get right back to this. He had Cavani, which is everybody's, sweetheart right now. He had Lavezzi. He had Medic Hamsik. He had these guys that really just kind of really hit home for Napolitans.
He had Aronica.
I loved Aronica. People get on.
I was a fan of Aronica. A lot of people.
He was tough, dude. I loved Aronica. He was
tough.
tough. He used to get in people's faces, man. I liked Aronica. But he did a lot. I'm not gonna get, he was a lot of first timers. Even what he did in Champions League with the group of death. Remember that? It was Bayern Munich, Manchester City, and Villarreal, and we got out that group, and we almost beat Chelsea. We should have beat Chelsea. A Christian
Maggio goal line clearance in the first leg, and we're 4-1.
Ashley Cole, man. I'm so glad you said that because nobody remembers that. I talk to them. I cannot forget that day.
I remember talking to my cousin on the phone, my cousin Dan on the phone. If that ball went in, this tie is over. Now we might have a problem. Who is this? Which one was that? Paul? Ain't no way I'm voting for him. All right.
Paul. I think this one's Rocco.
Is that Rocco?
Confused. Yeah.
Well, Rocco
gotta give him name tags.
Rocco doesn't remember Walter Mazzarri. Rocco was just born when Rocco.
Right.
That's a funny story. When Napoli scored the third goal against Chelsea, I threw my phone down in excitement. And as I was throwing my phone down, I somehow telepathically knew the phone was going to bounce back up and hit my kid who was sitting right next to me.
Right.
And it freaking did. I threw the phone down and bounced back and hit Rocco in the face, and I saw it coming. I telepathically saw it coming. But that's something I remember about the game, too. It was hilarious.
Oh, man.
Careful
for flying phones.
Yeah. So that's how you know that he was a strong
trooper. Yeah.
But he was only.
Well, I'll wear my helmet if I ever watch a game with you.
Well, listen, you have to. Oh man, I go nuts. But anyway, here's the thing about Mazzarri. Mazzarri for me, like you said, was he brought us to this next level. We had Eddie Rea in the early 2000s and in the mid 2000s who got us back to Serie B and then Serie A. He took over for Gianpaolo Ventura, or whatever the hell his name is. Then he gets canned after a pretty rough, it was a pretty decent start to the season, but then we slipped. He gets canned for Roberto Donadoni, who saved us from relegation, but then started off bad in 2009.
Right.
And then Walter Mazzarri comes in 2000.
Right, in October, I believe.
October 2009. And his very first match, Christian Maggio, I believe it was Christian Maggio, gets a last-minute winner against Bologna.
Okay, yeah, I think you're right.
And then
yeah.
That's what Mazzarri was known for. That Mazzarri, Tempo di Mazzarri, right? That was Zona Mazzarri, which was goals coming after the freaking 85th minute.
Right.
Many times did he provide us with great memories, great moments. He, like you said, brought us back to the Champions League, finished in third place.
Right.
then a fifth place finish the season that we were in the Champions League, but the Coppa Italia win against Juventus. And then
anyway.
No, it was fifth place. It was fifth place the season that we won Coppa Italia. It was sixth place this first full season.
Okay.
And then a second place finish.
The last season was the second place season, and that's when Rafa Benitez came in
behind Juventus.
Yes.
Many memories of Cavani scoring those goals. The goal against Lecce, the goal against Lazio, the goal. Forget about it, man. Just Champions League goals. The goal he scored against Man City. Come on, just
right here, Ken. Hold on, I gotta stop you. Right there, Rafa. This is what I need to say. This so bad. It's because this is exactly right. That's what I'm saying. This was like the beginning of a better Napoli, right? Because prior to Mazzarri, we were kind of a mid-table team. We're coming out of the B series, the C series. This was the first time that we lift a trophy. First time we finished top flight. First time we get into the Champions League. There was a lot of new beginnings for us. And I think Napolitans at that moment, the Tifosi at that moment were just happy with what they had. You know what I'm trying to say? If you take Walter Mazzarri and you let him coach now with the same results, do you still love him just as much? Does he win 50% of the votes? I want to know. So I want to hold the Napoli Tifosi a little bit accountable for this vote.
Well,
now, like I said, there's nothing bad with feeling that way. That, hey, this was a really joyous time because Napoli started going up like this, right? Aside from Coppa Italia, they didn't win a Scudetto. They didn't really do anything in the European League, but they did see a lot of new times. And I think, like Kenny said, the expectations were low. So whatever happened was a big deal, was good enough. Do we still have that same attitude now? I mean, to kind of counter the whole Mazzarri thing, if I had to choose, it would probably be Maurizio Sarri to win it. And part of it was because they more or less achieved the same thing, except that Sarri really brought up the team in value. He stayed in the top three all 3 years. I have an interesting fact here. We were discussing it, Rafa, right before. I'm just going to throw it out there for everybody to know. Mazzarri's record in 4 years was 75 wins, 43 draws, and 34 losses. Whereas Sarri in 3 seasons did 79 wins, 22 draws, and 13 losses. I mean, he accomplished a lot,
Are those league numbers? Are those just league numbers?
Those were league numbers.
Yes. Okay.
Those were league numbers.
Well, listen, I'm not denying that Maurizio Sarri didn't provide Napoli with a lot of excitement, memories. Ken brings this up too. We can put that. We can't rewrite history without him. We don't lay the groundwork. Much respect for Mazzarri.
100%, Ken.
And I think, like Kenny said, that's why they chose Mazzarri over Sarri. No one's going to pick Benitez, although I might have a strong opinion about he should be at least up there.
If we're talking about markets, yeah.
Okay, but Sarri, what he did was wonderful. He brought us to the Champions League 3 times in a row, which no one has done, and no one has done before or since.
Right.
The points, the 91 points in the season we lost to Scudetto, but that's the thing, is that a lot of people talk about Mazzarri's preferred 11, but Sarri had a preferred 11 too. Maybe he didn't have the bench that he wanted to have.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe, but at the same time, Sarri had no plan B. Never had a plan B. When our backs were against the wall, it was over.
But what was Mazzarri's plan B? Did he ever switch his 3-5-2?
Like you said, Mazzarri had no expectations, so anything Mazzarri did was good because of the fact that this was all brand new. Right. Like, holy crap, we've been in the league for 7 years. We lifted the Coppa Italia. Oh my gosh, it took us. It take us like 4 seasons to get to the Champions League. Like that's maybe 3. That's a big accomplishment. From there, the accomplishments should have gotten better and better. Now, my argument for Benitez to be better than Sarri at least is that Benitez asked for players and along with Ricardo Bigon, he got these players. And the players are Gonzalo Higuain, as much as we all hate him. After we lost Cavani, we brought in Higuain, who just scored as much, if not, well, not more, but as much as Cavani was a good goal scorer, so was Higuain. Yes. Sadi played the best for football and elevated us, no doubt. But Mentalidad is where I was going. That's where I was going again.
I felt that, so I figured.
Benitez. Yeah, we drew a lot of games there too, and we lost a lot of frustrating games too. I'll never forget his last game with us, the 4-2 Lazio loss at home for the Champions League, which pissed me off. Higuain sends a penalty kick with 10 minutes left over the bar, and then Lazio scores 2 on us, and we lose 4-2.
Right, I remember that.
But we lost the Champions League. That's frustrating, yes. But Benitez won us a Coppa Italia also. Benitez won us the Supercoppa, which people will crap on, but I don't care. It's a trophy. Right. Also, Benitez took us to the semifinal Europa League.
Okay.
In where we could have won that match against, I think it was Dnipro, which for me, I would have rather lost to Sevilla and been in Fiorentina's shoes and had Fiorentina play Dnipro. You know, if it were, we lost to the team that no one expected to make the final.
It was Dnipro, yeah.
It was
semifinals.
Yeah. And Fiorentina played against Sevilla. Yeah. I much would rather have lost to Sevilla in the semifinal, but be that as it may, we went to a semifinal in Europe with Benitez. Okay?
Yes.
You have to take the good with the bad. For me, he brought in, like I said, Higuain, Jorginho, Mertens, Callejon, Albiol, players like that. Koulibaly, Duvan. Yes. These are players that have flourished and
all
become
staples in our team.
Better.
But that's
now, you can argue that Sarri made Koulibaly better because in his first season with Benitez and maybe his first with Sarri.
I think he made all those guys
Koulibaly
better.
Was a little rocky, but you have to get used to a new league, you know?
Rafa, Sarri made all those guys better.
That's
Come
fine. He made them better, but they weren't. Sarri brought that like Kenny said, the mentalidad wasn't gone, dude. Like we couldn't finish the seasons because we finished in second. Dude,
yeah, but who did he have? That's all. He only had those starters, Rafa. I mean, come on. Who was on the bench for him in the midfield? I tell you, Diawara and Rogue. That was it. He had nobody else up front. So, Higuain did his thing. Insigne did his thing. Mertens, Callejon. Everybody performed. The partnerships that he created and the confidence that he gave into his players, the value, if you want to talk about money in an economic standpoint, the value he brought to the team, has been unmatched since. He turned Higuain into a 30-year-old, $95 million player when we bought him for $40 million off of
and I'm not denying
Real Madrid.
I'm not denying any of that. I'm not denying any of that.
But I agree with Rafa as far as I'm sorry. There's so many Rafas here, man. So Rafa Benitez, yes, he was our most successful in the European theater, 100%. I'll give it to Tony Cessier, scored 20 goals with Benitez. Right, but, Callejon did start getting a little bit older. He's playing a whole lot.
Yeah, but wait a minute, because Callejon, because in Sarri's second season, Mertens, Insigne, Callejon, and Hamsik all had double-digit goals, and they were the only team in Europe, all top 5 leagues, to have 4 players with double-digit goals.
Who was this with? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part.
This is Sarri's second season. We missed that. We finished in third, 1 point behind Roma, 5 behind you.
Yeah.
My Scudetto just fell. And then the season after, which was our Scudetto season, the season we beat you
91 points.
91 points. And then it all fell apart, man. Why? Why did it all fall apart? That's, to me, and Sarri, at the end of the day, in Europe was terrible.
Okay.
If you ask me. Terrible. And then couldn't even win a Coppa Italia. They didn't win a single trophy under Sarri. Meanwhile,
do you think that he was focusing more on the campeonato as opposed to
the mentality that we're talking about? That nobody should go into a season with the mentality of, you know what, we're going to qualify for this competition, but screw this competition next season because we want this. No, absolutely not. No. Because with Mazzarri, we had fighting for a Scudetto, that season that we finished in 5th, the season that we were in the Champions League, we still were a Scudetto contender. Definitely the season before when we finished 3rd, we were still a Scudetto contender. Okay, we win the Coppa Italia. We end up becoming a Scudetto contender the next season. Okay, and we didn't do terrible we didn't do great in Europe either. But at the same time, we have to get that mentality. Under Benitez, we were in Europe, and we were kind of in the Serie A as well. Conceding competitions sets bad precedents, man. Exactly. We haven't found that one manager to get us, because now that we have that depth, we have Gattuso. The question is, can Gattuso keep us competitive in Serie A? Never mind winning it, but competitive in Serie A.
I don't know, man.
And
he hasn't been proving it that much right now.
Yeah, but he hasn't had a full season yet either.
No, I get it, but we have how many people are injured now? I mean, all right, Ozanam wasn't his fault, but he keeps doing this high pressure, all his eggs in one basket up front, and we're losing the balance of the team. Now we have all these guys injured. Petagna's not performing up to what we think he can perform to. Mertens is gone. Insigne loses his head.
But Insigne losing his head is more a testament to his for me anyway. More a testament to his passion. Yes. You
can still have passion without getting a red card.
Sometimes captains are going to get in the referee's face and say "Va cagnera" and get sent off, man. That's going to happen sometimes, dude. I think Insigne as the captain of this squad is all because Gattuso and Insigne stepping up as captain of the squad is all because Gattuso and the passion that he shows. Insigne can be the same type of player in a different position that Gattuso was, and it shows. When Gattuso's eye isn't half closed and he's sitting on the bench, he's on the pitch screaming at these players.
I get it.
Now that he can run them to the ground, he has the depth for them to come sit and then to put in another player who's equally as qualified or even could be even better to replace them. It's just that we've been unfortunate with injuries, which in a time like this with the condensed schedule and COVID and this and that is absolutely excusable for me. Gattuso needs more time, and this is why we absolutely should sign him for another season or two.
Right. I mean,
we should, because
we'll see. I mean, I think January is going to say a lot about the mentality of the team currently, and if all this what we're saying is actually working, because they're gonna have to respond now, and with all the injuries, the diversity that they're facing, this is a real test for Napoli as far as mentality goes. Because if they can't pull themselves up here and now, then like what else can you say? Because I mean, to defend, Ken was talking about Sadi kind of bringing him into the ground. But my question is like, yeah, but look at the roster he had. And yeah, he was somewhat of a one-trick pony. I wanted maybe a little bit more out of Sadi, but he literally did all he can with practically nothing. I mean, granted, he did take, Rafa Benitez to me had the top transfer market, because those guys who he picked up ended up being all key players for this team, and some of them are still here, some recently just left. And Sadi took those guys and said, I have a team. I can do what I want with this, and he did. He proved that. He proved that just listening to the players and what they want, responding to them, and keeping their feelings into consideration, he built a team that, let's be honest, every Napolitan fan says it was the most beautiful soccer we've ever seen, right? I mean, again, I'm not trying to knock anybody else, but I'm just saying is that the impact that Sadi had on fans and the impact that he had on the soccer that we saw from Napoli should get noted. The fact that he stayed top 3. Did he do well in the European competitions? No, but so far, nobody has really. I mean, with the exception of going to the semifinals with the Europa League, we never came out of a round of 16 or a round of 32 yet. Neither did Mazzarri. He got really close with Chelsea that day, And I know they were having coaching problems, and they ended up switching for the following game.
Di Matteo.
Yeah, and then they won the Champions League.
Right.
So interestingly enough, fans, give us a little bit of credit, because everybody whose Napoli has lost against were either finalists and won, or
Most
semifinalists.
Anyway. Yes. Most anyway, yes.
So we're losing against champions. We're not, and for the most part. But I think Sarri should get a little more credit. I think the fact that he goes to Juve.
Well, that did it. That's what did it.
So every time somebody goes to Juventus now, we're gonna but
you know what?
Worthless.
It's not about that, Ralph. It's not about that. It's
maybe
about
not for you, but for a lot of people, it is.
No, but it's about the things that he said about Juve and for Napoli when he was with Napoli, growing up a Napoli fan. I'll never wear. You only get penalties when you wear stripes. I'll never go to Juve. This and that, and then he goes to Juve. It's Higuain-ish, dude. It is. I'm sorry, it is. And that's the way it is, and that's why Napoli fans didn't vote Sarri in. But I also have the impression within myself that Sarri shouldn't be named coach of the decade. And yes, he played beautiful soccer, and yes, we got a lot of points. But the fact is, nobody could beat Juve in these 10 years. So I don't think anybody should say anything about we didn't win a Scudetto because nobody did. Ken, Sarri didn't have put that back up. Sarri didn't have nothing. He had the best 11 we ever had. He asked for specific players that didn't work out sometimes. Giaccherini, Marco Rog, Diawara, these players didn't work. Strinic,
he didn't play Rogue. He didn't play. Rogue had like 3 starts.
No,
Diawara got all the starts. And then we got rid of him.
The bench time. But his substitutions were plug and play.
Not even putting that name up.
Plug and play, like for like, same substitutions. It was the same thing.
If he substituted.
I'm going to go on a limb. It's funny that nobody mentions Ancelotti, right? He is the one manager. I'm not giving him a coach that, trust me, I'm not. Yeah. But Ancelotti is the manager that was able to move these pieces within the flow of the game. You started in this formation, and the team on the field switched into another formation. He was able to do that. The first year with Ancelotti, we finished in second, distant from Juve, but also way ahead of Inter. So we finished in second. It was the second season that something happened, didn't work out. Ancelotti wasn't the fit for us. He just wasn't the personality we needed. Yeah. I think Gattuso could be the Ancelotti of the Milan years. Don't forget, Gattuso is a very young coach. He hasn't coached that much. He hasn't coached quality that much either. I think Gattuso could be the Ancelotti from his glory days in Milan. He grew up, he matured under Ancelotti. He's got that style of moving the formations as he goes. We move into this and we move into that, without possession. And he knows most of the time, knows when to make a sub, knows what sub to make. Sometimes he lapses, but again, I think it's a learning curve. This is his first full season with Napoli. Right. I say we re-sign him, we have him keep going, and let's just see. Let's see what happens this season. We're
gonna know real soon.
If we collapse mentally, now we have to start thinking: is it the players? Is it the managers we bring in? What's going on? You know what I'm saying?
I think this next month is going to tell us a whole lot, Rafa. I think they're going to tell us a whole lot. So
yeah, absolutely. Quentin chimes in. Mind you, shout out to Quentin. He's the one that does our intro. He does our music for this show. So thank you, Quentin. We appreciate that. To Mazzarri was the best coach we ever had. Yeah. He was undefeated whenever
we did have one of the healthiest Napolis under Mazzarri. Final answer. I'm fine with this decision, Rafa. I'm fine. And the reason why I'm fine is because, yes, Mazzarri gave us a Napoli that we haven't seen in 30 years, and we enjoyed it. But please, can we go back to that? I don't want to say I want to go back to those feelings in the sense that, I
don't think it's going to happen, Ralph. I think
we just chip away at it.
I think what happens is if we have a season where we're first, constantly first, which we did have with Saudi in his first season, and then we screwed it up in February. I think if we have that kind of season, right, then maybe. But I mean,